Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. In the next few videos I'm going to share with you how to recreate your life when you first get sober and onwards, and how to get stronger and stronger as you go along. Which can seem a very daunting prospect from perhaps where you are at the moment. I know 5 years ago I would never have believed that I could be where I am now. And it's taken a lot of blood, sweat and tears, as many of you probably will realise. And along the way, I've learned many things from a lot of different people I've talked to, various mentors. I've done a lot of research into the science of getting through and getting better, recovering from addiction and rebuilding, recreating and relearning your life. And I'm going to try and share that with you over the next, like I say, few videos. And please subscribe, like and share the videos if you think they'll help anybody, because the purpose of this channel always has been is to pass on my experiences perhaps and other people's experiences in the comment section, which will perhaps help other people recover and get through things like withdrawal and early sobriety and the many different challenges which come from trying to beat addiction and getting sober and living a sober life. Well, when you get through withdrawal, that's a tough enough challenge in itself. You know, there's no doubt about that. But on the other side of that, as I've talked about in the last two videos, there comes this euphoria, this pink cloud. And, you know, being sober is a new thing. But all of a sudden you come back down to earth with a bump. And there's many different reasons for that. I think what many people don't understand and don't do when they first get sober is to fix themselves, fix their bodies and minds. Because the damage you've done yourself with your drug of choice, whether it be alcohol, opiates, other drugs, whatever it is, you have damaged, not irreparably, but you have damaged your body and your mind. You know, your health is suffered. You're going to be malnourished. You're going to have different neural pathways in your brain which have been created by your addiction. I mean, the science tells us that these new neural pathways mean that your default setting, if you like, when you're in addiction is to jump down the pain pathway and to try and medicate that pain. You're going to be starved of the feel-good chemicals such as dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin, but particularly dopamine and serotonin. The reward chemical dopamine, you'll be missing that. You'll have a massive deficit because your brain has stopped making it, because particularly with opiates and with alcohol and other drugs, but particularly with opiates, the opiates have sat on those receptors and your brain has stopped making dopamine because it's been relying on the opiates and the alcohol as the reward chemicals. So you need to teach it how to make those chemicals again. I mean, one of the reasons for restless leg syndrome and the feeling of massive anxiety and depression when you get through the other side is the lack of dopamine. And the fact is your body won't start making that, brain won't start making that again until you give it what it needs to do that. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Serotonin, another massive feel-good chemical. You know, people with low serotonin obviously suffer from depression. That's why they take, antidepressants to create serotonin. The fact is, particularly again with alcohol in this case, your gut and your microbiome will have been damaged badly by your drinking and drug taking. And serotonin is created in the gut mostly, and it won't be making that serotonin. The first thing that happens when you come out of withdrawal is The body's a miracle, because from the moment you stop taking your drug of choice, the moment you stop doing that, your body will begin to try and rebalance itself. And that's called homeostasis. The body will then, and the mind will strive to rebalance. And that, believe you me, as you probably know, will not happen overnight. So you need to give it the best chance possible. There are many things that go into getting yourself strong and recreating yourself when you first get sober, which I'll come on to in the other videos, because they're topics in themselves, and they're things like the healing, the pain, the reason, because unless you heal the reason that drives you down the addiction route, that inner pain, whatever it is, that anxiety, that whatever that thing is that drives you, until you've healed that or dealt with it or faced it and faced your fears, you can't move forward. There are many other things like forgiveness of yourself and gaining the forgiveness perhaps of other people that are close to you. Many things. Making new friends, new routines, new goals. I wouldn't have believed where I would be now. And that is only, like I talked about in the last couple of videos, through tiny, tiny goals, small steps. And creating, that feeling that I've achieved something today. Tiny things. And they get bigger and bigger until, with me now, I'm facing in a month's time going on an 800-mile walk along the Camino de Santiago. Never had thought that possible 5 years ago. But I digress. Back we go. What does it take to heal your body? Because before you can do any of what I've just talked about, and there's many other things as well, until you can face all those things, you need to start some healing in your body. You need to start that dopamine process going in your brain again. And that's going to take time. There are things you can do to help that though. The first thing is obviously supplementation and diet. You need to give your body the best chance, and your mind, your best chance it has of healing itself. Because during addiction, you won't have eaten. You'll have eaten shit. You won't have eaten properly. You'll have gone days without eating and just drank. And your body has suffered terribly, and it needs to heal itself. So supplementation to start with. The things that I took, and again, a lot of research went into this. Initially, when I first got sober, omega-3s essential because they're going to help your brain immensely. And what I mean by really good omega-3s is EPA and DHA, cod liver oil perhaps, but you can buy like omega-3 now, good quality omega-3. You can take up to 2,000 milligrams a day of that initially, most people just settle for 1,000, but if you want to boost it in those early days of recovery, it will help your brain immensely. Those fatty acids, and the rest of your body as well, because it's an antioxidant as well, anti-inflammatory, and that will help start the healing process. You need to look at your immune system extremely carefully. And to do that, you'll need to take a good quality megadose of vitamin C and a good quality zinc tablet. This is what I did. And the zinc is about 15 milligrams a day is the recommended dose, but it needs to be good quality. And vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams a day. It's important to give your immune system a chance to boost it, to start it working and fighting, to start healing your body in the various places. Now, particularly if you've been addicted to alcohol, you're going to need a really good B vitamin supplement. Megadose. Preferably one that releases all day. Now, you can get these from a good health food shop. Or if you're short of money, and I know what that's like because I've been there myself, just buy the best you can afford to buy. And supermarkets sell them. But if you can afford to get a really good quality natural megadose vitamin B supplement, get it. because that will help in those early days. Even if you're taking it just for a month. Magnesium, a good quality magnesium oxide supplement. Look into it, the ones that are easily absorbed into your body. Now, the reason for that is because it'll help with your sleep processes, because you're going to be suffering terribly in those early days from insomnia. So a good quality magnesium will help your muscles relax. It helps your brain. It helps you your sleep processes. So get one of those as well. And then perhaps something along the lines of a really good multivitamin as well. It's just belt and braces approach, just so you know you're getting all the other multivitamins as well as those extra ones I've just talked about. You know, and you can look at getting other supplements as well, research them that you think may help you, but they're the basic ones that I took. And then also, if you want to look at something that will perhaps help start boosting serotonin production, something like that, BHTP, which is a supplement which you can get from any health food shop, which again will help serotonin production. It's a natural supplement. Have a look at that as well. So there's your supplementation, your basic supplementation. There are various other things you can take as well, like ashwagandha, stuff like that, which will help in various processes. But I prefer to come on to them at a later date. They're the ones I've just talked about are the ones which are really important to give your body a boost, the things that it hasn't been getting. And then, of course, you look at your diet. You may not feel like eating much to start with, but make sure what you're eating is good. Try if you can. It's really difficult in the early days to cut sugar out and processed foods out, or as much as you can. There's going to be times perhaps when you feel you might need a chocolate bar, and that's fair play in those early days. But try and cut it out as much as you can. Banging up your greens, especially leafy greens like spinach, kale. Look at broccoli as well, like cruciferous vegetables. Look at lots of fruit, natural fruits, berries in particular. Anything with good antioxidants power in it. Look at natural foods like oats, whole grains, all of that sort of stuff as your carbohydrate source. And then as your protein sources, look at white meat and fish. Try and cut down on your red meat. Make sure you're getting plenty of water every day. You know, at least 3 litres every single day. Every healing process in your body will need that water. And in those early days, it's very important. So there's diet. Look at your sleep hygiene. It's going to be really difficult in those early days. Insomnia is going to be prevalent. Look at your sleep hygiene. I've talked about it before. Blackout curtains. No gadgets or phones in your room at least 2 hours before bed. Don't eat too late. All the basic stuff. Read before bed. Do breathing exercises. Sleep meditations. Anything you can. Make sure your room temperature is 17 degrees centigrade or below to give yourself the best chance of sleeping. Go to bed at a regular time. And then, of course, exercise. Get out every day for a walk in the fresh air and the sunlight, or daylight if there's no sun. Get out into nature every day. Do all the basic things that you give up to give your body and your brain the best chance it can of reaching this homeostasis I talk about as quickly as possible. Now, the other thing I just want to quickly touch on in this video is to be patient and kind to yourself. None of this is going to happen overnight. You know, the small goals I talked about in the last video, and have a look at that, is really important, as well as doing everything I've just mentioned. Look at setting yourself these small goals, these tiny targets. Every day, you know, you're getting up, you're making your bed, you're having a shower, you're doing your teeth. You're doing all these basic things, making sure your nutrition's in, making sure your supplementation's done, making sure your little bit of exercise is done. And be kind to yourself. Treat yourself well in those early few days and weeks of recovery, because it won't happen overnight. You're going to be feeling crap probably in these first few days and perhaps weeks, But it's really important to just hold on and stay strong during this period. To realise that the body is a miracle and so is the mind, but it's not such a miracle that it will heal overnight. It's like anything, illness, sickness. It's going to take time, and it's going to take consistency from you. It's going to take discipline, and it's going to take, doing these things day in, day out, adding things to your goals list, and those goals get bigger and better. It will get there, and it may seem like a massive mountain to climb. And I said in the last video, the best way to move that mountain is to take away small stones. And eventually the mountain gets smaller and smaller and smaller. You feel yourself getting better, stronger, and more able then to deal with the next stage, which I'll talk about in the next video, which is having a look at the reasons why you were in the mess you were in the first place. Because you never want to go back there unless you face that and face your fear in a lot of cases and pain in a lot of cases. However you decide to do that, and I'll talk about how you decide to do that in the next video. You'll always be going backward. Doesn't matter how well you make yourself, the chances are you'll always fall back into addiction. So I hope that's been of some use for you. That's stage one, if you like, of recreating and rebuilding your life. Good luck to you all. Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Make today the day you change your life. Live strong, live free. Much love to you all. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.